He failed 3 times. Then he became a judge. Imagine growing up in a small village. Your father is a laborer. Your family doesn't have money or connections. And yet, from a young age, you have one dream. You want to become a judge. For Rajinder Singh, this wasn't just a childhood fantasy. It became the goal that shaped his entire life. Rajinder grew up in the village of Rati Roti, in Punjab, India. His father, Rajinder Singh, was a laborer. Life was not easy. There was no guarantee that Rajinder would ever have a successful career. But his family understood the importance of education. Rajinder studied at a local school before continuing his education at Rajendra College in Faridkot. Later, he went to Punjabi University in Patiala to study law. And slowly, his childhood dream became something much bigger. He wanted to enter the judicial system. He wanted to become a judge. But getting there would be far more difficult than he imagined. In 2006, tragedy struck. Rajinder lost his father. The man who had worked hard to support his family was suddenly gone. For Rajinder, this was more than the loss of a parent. It was a moment that could have changed the direction of his entire life. But instead of giving up, he continued his education. He continued studying law. And eventually, he faced one of the biggest challenges of his life: the judicial examination. Passing the examination would mean turning years of studying into a real career. But Rajinder didn't pass on his first attempt. He failed. For many people, that might have been the end. You spend years studying. You work toward one goal. And then you receive a rejection. It is easy to tell yourself, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this dream isn't for me. Maybe I should choose something easier. But Rajinder didn't stop. He tried again. And again, the road wasn't easy. Another attempt. Another disappointment. But every failure gave him more experience. He knew the exam better. He understood his weaknesses. And he knew that if he wanted the dream badly enough, he had to keep going. Then came another attempt. And once again, he didn't get the result he wanted. 3 attempts. 3 disappointments. At this point, most people would probably have walked away. Think about it. How many times would you be willing to fail at the same dream? Once? Twice? 3 times? Rajinder had already experienced all 3. But there was still something inside him that refused to quit. He continued studying. He continued preparing. And then came his 4th attempt. This time, something changed. Rajinder Singh passed the PCS judiciary examination. The boy from a small village. The son of a laborer. The student who had lost his father. The man who had failed 3 times. Had finally achieved his dream. He became a judge. His success wasn't just about passing an examination. It represented years of sacrifice. Years of studying. Years of disappointment. And most importantly, years of refusing to give up. Rajinder later credited his success to the support of his family, especially his mother and uncle. Because sometimes, success isn't created by one person alone. Sometimes, when you are ready to give up, someone else gives you one more reason to continue. Rajinder's story is a reminder that failure doesn't always mean you're going in the wrong direction. Sometimes, failure is simply part of the journey. Imagine if he had stopped after the first attempt. He wouldn't have become a judge. Imagine if he had stopped after the second. Same result. Imagine if he had stopped after the third. His story would have ended before the moment he had been waiting for his entire life. But he tried one more time. And that 4th attempt changed everything. So if you're watching this because you failed at something, remember Rajinder. Maybe you failed an exam. Maybe you've been rejected from a job. Maybe you've tried to build something and nobody noticed. Maybe you've started over more times than you can count. It doesn't mean your story is over. You might simply be one attempt away from the result you've been waiting for. Rajinder didn't become a judge because his journey was easy. He became a judge because he continued when the journey became difficult. His story began with a simple dream. A boy from a small village wanting to become a judge. And it ended with that boy sitting on the other side of the courtroom. The dream didn't disappear. It survived every failure. So remember this. You can fail once. You can fail twice. You can even fail 3 times. But if you still believe in the goal, there can always be another attempt. Don't give up just because the first chapters are difficult.